Serious, do you believe in intelligent life outside of our planet? If not, why? And if so, why? Posted to Askreddit. I've been obsessed with aliens since I was a little kid. I could rant about all the scientific stuff I've read, all the proof I've seen in documentaries for hours, but here's my favorite quote instead. The universe is a pretty big place. If it's just us, seems like an awful waste of space. Carl Sagan. I heard that years ago, and whenever I think about this question, it just wraps back around that. No matter what way you believe humans came about, got evolution, it just seems like a big waste of space if we are the only ones in it. The universe itself is so massive that it would probably take like twice the time Earth has existed to cross from one end to the other. I think it's incredibly narcissistic to think that intelligent life doesn't exist when we are basically a cork in the grand scheme of things. Yes, people who think the Earth is somehow special out of the entire universe and time are a special kind of crazy. The further away from Earth we look, the deeper into the past we see. We've only been looking for less than 100 years. The idea that we can look now hundreds of thousands or millions of light years away, see no evidence of intelligent life, and conclude it doesn't exist is crazy. That's like looking at Earth 10 million years ago, seeing no evidence of humanoid life, and concluding humanoid life doesn't exist. The Empire could exist right now at this very moment in the next galaxy and all we would see from Earth is 2.5 million years ago. Depends on what we are calling intelligent. Comparable to humans or just above sentient. Also depends how strict you are on medical definitions of life. The only way we can describe it is based on general consensus for the environment on Earth, so our definitions are highly biased. If you think about it, the probability of intelligent life here is incredibly slim. Supernovas occurred at just the right time and place to make a nebula forming our solar system. Our rock was made of just the right element from that nebula. We avoided most of the large projectiles in space. We are just the right distance from the right star. Earth's structure of tectonics is just right after being struck in the right way to release volcanic minerals. Those minerals combined in just the right way to amp something self-replicating. It replicated in just the right way to cause natural selection. It survived loads of mass extinction events. It completely changed its biology to cope with oxygen. It changed at just the right time to make symbiotic relationships. Extinctions happened just the right way for mammals to survive. Evolution was just right to make humans. The issue is, all that considered, we still have no idea what the probability of that is. All we can really say is it's incredibly small, potentially small enough to cancel out the vast repetition of the universe. Plus, who's to say we are alive or intelligent other than ourselves? The universe is too damn big for there to be no life outside Earth. My opinion is that there is life out there beyond the stars, but it's forever out of reach, and we are not the only ones thinking the same thing. If you put a gun to my head I would say no, at least not in the observable universe. The question basically comes down to the chance of intelligent life developing versus the size of the universe. Reddit loves to harp on how incredibly big the universe is, but they very rarely talk about how quickly the probabilities approach zero. Like the probability of a 1 in 10 chance happening, I think it's 24 or something times in a row is small enough for it to be 1 times the number of stars in the observable universe. Can't remember the exact math, but I did it a few months ago when I was talking about the same subject. A planet needs to have certain things to be a nice place for life. Certain chemicals, needs a calm solar system, a calm star, a moon, a good atmosphere, good magnetosphere, and people like to think that life will just inevitably evolve to be intelligent, but how come? We are the only animal to specialize so heavy into intelligence and special structure to take advantage of it, and we almost went extinct. It doesn't seem that likely for a species to follow our evolutionary path when it's not necessary for a successful species. I think this comes down to the definition of intelligent. Finding something as intelligent as humans or even more might be impossible. Life is way too persistent for it to not exist anywhere else. Like we've had multiple extinction level events and life has persisted. But out of billions of evolutionary experiments, humans are the only ones that have gotten where we are. We've taken rocks and dirt and turned them into everything we see around us. I also don't think humans will go extinct. We are the only species aware of our mortality and actively taking steps to try and avoid it. No. Our picture of what the intelligent life could be is just very anthropocentric. If anything does exist on other planet, it is far from our terms, life, and intelligent. You should read about the Great Filter Hypothesis. It essentially states that civilizations likely destroy themselves before becoming advanced enough to colonize the solar system, hence why no evidence of aliens exists, in spite of the universe being so large. People like to assume that, because life is here it has to be out there, but in reality it's so unlikely that life could even start anywhere, hence why you never see life just suddenly spawn nowadays even on Earth. To assume that life is popular, rather than we are just the unlucky planet in this vast universe is actually pretty, well, it's projection. One would be egotistical to assume no one is like you, or that the Earth is special, but you're still projecting if you think others are like you. Either way it's ignorant, even if you're right as you're guilty of having faith in something, and you don't know anything. As it is, it's unlikely, nearly impossible, to even make life deliberately. The only reason we are here is due simply to how large the universe is, and how much it varies all over itself. Is there life out there? Due to the laws of chance it'd be very very far away, so likely we never get to contact it. It may as well not exist. If an alien sits on a planet crying, and a human is not there to experience it, does it make a sound? The answer is yes, but not to the human. Ergo it is not relevant, and obsessing over it is not having priorities in place, as would obsession over death, or if time flows backwards be not having your priorities in place. Then there's the fact that most animals are stupid, so they won't travel away from their planet to begin with. Even more reason it's not relevant. We might be the only ones that ever went to space while projecting our own tendencies onto other possible planets. TLDR, possibly, but it does not matter as it'd be too far away to even if it were to happen on more than one planet. Roughly speaking, there are 7.5 quintillion grains of sand, including every beach and every desert, all of the Sahara, every grain. 1 sextillion stars in the observable universe, and of course the universe goes far beyond what we can see, so this is by no means a total 1 sextillion, which means just of the stars in the observable universe there are 133 stars for each grain of sand on Earth. At a cursory glance there are 1.6 planets in the habitable zone for all stars on average, so roughly 213 habitable planets for each and every grain of sand on Earth. I think the answer is rather obvious. Could we really be 1 in 1.6 sextillion? I doubt it. I think the math reveals the truth here. We haven't even been to the next planet. In order to search for life there, we will probably find microbial life on Mars in the early 2040s. Statistically, there should be. I cannot even describe how many potential life-supporting planets there could be. Millions is probably an understatement. There's a few possible explanations as to why we haven't found any intelligent life forms elsewhere. 1. God only created one intelligent species. 2. Not enough range to spot it, or too many planets to spot the intelligent one. Needle in a haystack. Our planet is only visible to other planets within 4.5 billion light years. Other intelligent planets could also be out of range of us. 3. Intelligence isn't a necessity for survival. We are the only animal on our planet to become so intelligent as to form our own language and shape the world around us. If there are animals on other planets, there's no guarantees they would follow the same evolutionary path. Even if there is another intelligent species out there, what are the chances they are also using radio waves to contact other civilizations? 4. Great filters. There could be evolutionary barriers that typically prevent life from evolving to a certain point. Humans may have passed this filter that typically kills all life at an earlier stage. Say bacteria kill each other off before any can evolve to multi-celled organisms. So we are the only intelligent life, because we are an exception to this great extinction event that prevents most life from reaching this stage. We have found bacteria on other planets, but never any large life forms. This implies the great filter is behind us. If we found another large intelligent species, it could mean the great filter is ahead of us. Not good. If we find the ruins of an intelligent species, it means we are fucked, because that would indicate intelligent species tend to kill themselves off with nuclear war, global warming, etc. So maybe it's best we don't find intelligent life. I love this kind of discussion, because this sort of things are fun. But I really think we need to stop focusing on the emphasis of intelligent life and just focus on any amount of foreign or alien life, be it microbes or any single cell organism, because it means life can find time to thrive regardless of how it evolves. We are never going to be able to see more than 6% of our observable universe and focus on these kinds of questions if we don't start focusing these endeavors. Instead of funding things like the military or arguing about our taxes, we should focus more on the intelligent life we have on our own planet and preserving what we have long enough to maybe one day find out if life exists. This isn't a political argument, it's a point and fact statement. If we want real answers to these questions, we should focus our time, money, and endeavors on things that actually matter. Those things are not finding churches and organizations that know a God exist. If he does, then so what? Let's live life and move on knowing he exists, all while still focusing on shit around us. We don't need more guns, we need more focus on cleaning what we have up so that we can reach the stars we wish to know more about. Point being, intelligent life doesn't matter if we can't be smart enough to ever reach it. I don't know. I think it's possible, but unlikely to be more advanced than us or easily detected. If we assume life and intelligence are physical processes, life and intelligence likely crop up somewhere else if the conditions are right. If we are average, a fair assumption with a single data point, most civilizations are roughly at the same level of advancement than us. That's because it took them about the same time from the start of the universe to get here. If the process is physical in nature, the distribution of civilization should be rather uniform. This means that any close neighbors, if any, are roughly at our level of advancement in all likelihood. Consider that we barely started being detectable in the 20th century. Any other civilizations that also are detectable are in all likelihood so far away that we cannot see them yet. We are light speed limited. Maybe in a couple thousand years they'll start lighting up all over the sky once their signals reach us. Thanks for watching. And don't forget to like and subscribe for more content. Hit that sweet notification bell to get updates on new videos being posted. And be sure to share our videos with your friends. Thanks for listening.